want to welcome our two guests today. Didier Chambron and Sean Danhauser will do a quick introduction real quickly, and I'm going to pass it over to Didier as well. But really excited to have everybody here in this virtual setting. Obviously, we've got a lot of stuff going on, especially with our State Cup and President's Cups that is just continuing to go on, as well as all of the coaching education, ODP, top soccer, too many things to speak of. So we've got a lot of stuff coming on. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Didier Chambron, who is the Director of Coaching Education with US Soccer. He's going to give us an update on what's going on in this new environment that we've been dealing with in the past year or so. All right, over to you, Didier.
Thank you, Adam. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Certainly can. We're all set.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So I would like to give you an update about what we are going to do from now till the end of the year. As you might know, we are going to restart B and A youth courses in July. So I wanted to give you an overview about the B and the A youth. We will I could answer some question about A senior at the end. A senior will restart in January. So here's a big course description. As you can see, we will have more courses, but with less candidates, less coaches per courses. We will keep this ratio to 1 to 12. So course experience will be from July to December for a total of 120 hours. It's a minimum number of education for a big course now. We will only have one in-person meeting. It will change in 2022. Hopefully, we will get back to 2 in-person meetings with a combination of learning activities through virtual meeting, guest speakers, one-on-one meeting with instructor, asynchronous and synchronous part, group project, but also individual project and assignment leading to a final assessment. So something very important in the past, if you remember, we were only talking about what in our philosophy, reality-based. We were only talking about the reality of candidate. We think it's very important now to also have a reality in our curriculum. So it's what we're gonna call the learning context. Why do we need a learning context? Because as you know, we have these 6 tasks, and these 6 tasks are from grassroots to the pro level. And we could see some redundancy from course to course. So what we want to do here, it's about being aligned with the principle of adult learning and making sure we are going to increase the level of complexity. And we are going to, let's say, to help you to move from novice to expert, knowing it's not just about information, it's about also giving you opportunity to apply the knowledge you are going to be exposed during this course. So something very important now to be aware of. So that doesn't mean you need to be in this environment, but during the course experience, that's the setting for every activity and assignment. So I can read here, 3 main components. We are always part of something. So a team part of a club or an organization. So everything, what we are going to discuss about will be in this context here. 3 training sessions per week, and we try to focus on creating training session for when we have access to only half of the field. Team periodization only. Who is it for? Who is in front of us? Players from under 13 plus. Who are these players? They are not necessarily top class players, I would say, intermediate to advanced. It's something very important here to be aware of. Their level of motivation is not very very high. So here it's very important to have this clarity, because we speak about players training 3 times a week. Competition, there is a lot of flexibility here, 6 to 10 months. Okay, so something very, very important. So during large group meetings, small group meeting, during in-person meeting, that's the why we are here. It's about developing competencies for working in this specific environment. And that doesn't mean I am already in this environment. It's more about being proactive and preparing student coaches to get ready if one day they have opportunity to work in this environment. So something very important we have now for all licenses, including the pro. You don't need to be in the pro environment to have access to the course, but you will need to get a scholarship. So here's what we covered during the B. I'll let you have a look. As you can see, it's always this 6 tasks. And we will focus on, in every task here, we will go through knowledge, what the coach should know and understand, and skills, what the application of knowledge, but also what he should be able to do at the end of the course experience. So it leads us to a standard, the B license standard. What are the minimum competency a coach should have to receive a B license? Who is it for? Those who have C license for at least 12 months, 3 years of coaching experience, and coaching within a senior or youth 11 versus 11 environment in a US-based competition. Something very important, if you are not coaching in this 11 versus 11 environment, it's okay. You just need to have an internship with your club or another club for the duration of the course, and have access to a team where you are going to, the team you are going to use to complete your course assignment. So something very important we didn't have before. Application, very simple. We are in the application, the B application review right now. We had a lot of application, and unfortunately, some people will be frustrated because we won't be able to provide education opportunities to all applicants. The good news is we will have another application process starting in October, November, for a restart in January. So that's the B. Here is the A, more or less the same, but something we would like to develop, to be more consistent in the future. Course experience here, of course, it's 10 months, so 180 hours, 3 in-person meeting, 2 meeting 1 and meeting 3 in KC, meeting 2 in market. That's something we would like to see in the future, people traveling less. So duration in-person meeting are reduced, of course. In the past, if you remember, it was 6 days. Now it's going to be only 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days. What are we going to do? We are going to focus on the soccer component. For B and A, we consider a lot of things about leadership. For example, a lot of things could be achieved online now. So exactly the same here, in-person meeting with different type of education opportunities, virtual meeting, one-on-one, guest speakers, group project. Group project is very important in the license, and free in-person meeting. So if you remember now the context for the course, now we talk about, I would say, a high performance environment, and the setting now it's we consider the starting point of the A license is always where we ended up with the B. So we consider coaches are able to plan, implement, analyze, reflect on team and individual team periodization at the beginning of the A license with 3 training sessions a week. Now we are moving to the next step. Now it's about being aware of, it's not just me with my team. I am part of something bigger. We talk about the club player development plan. I need to understand players did something the year before, and I am going to prepare them for the next step. So I am a small piece of the player development plan. And the big picture, the club player development plan, actually in this environment is driven by an academy director. So from team periodization, also step by step, we are transitioning to individual periodization with a clear IDP for all players. But IDP, it's about collecting data and not just telling players you should improve your left foot. No, it's about making sure we are providing players with support in terms of developing their key qualities within the player profile. So something very, very important in the license. And of course, 4-5 training session, 4-5 training session per week. So planning is very, very important. Who are these players? They are in the professional pathway trajectory, under 13 to under 19, potential professional players. Now we talk about duration of the season, 10 months. Why is it important, duration of the season? It's about planning. So we know we need different steps before expecting coaches being able to plan for a 10 months season duration. Course goal, now, as you can see, it's all about assess, plan, implement, monitor, and analyze programs for long-term development. So the main focus in this course is about developing player within the team within the player development plan. That's the difference with the A senior. The A senior, the focus is more on team development. The A senior, just to give you some ideas, sometimes people see the A youth below the A senior. Actually, no, in terms of level of complexity, the A youth is above the A senior, because we need to cover the different stages of player development, and we need to make sure we provide all student coaches with clarity about the club style of play and game model with the club player development plan here. But who are they? Who is in front of us? Players between 13 and 19. It's huge. It's huge in terms of things to cover. So here are the key areas we developed during the course. with this idea also, and we know there is room for improvement. We try to be more consistent, and we would like in the future all instructors being aware of course curriculum in all license. So again, being consistent and helping people to develop their knowledge and skills from B and A in terms from a course curriculum perspective, but also helping them to grow as individual in their environment. So what we did, and again, to answer some question, finally, so we extended this period, this development period between B and A. In the past, it was 6 months. Now it's going to be 12. Why? Because we are going to enter into a confederation convention. So in the future, those who are going to receive a US soccer license, a US soccer certificate, you will also have a confederation license like they have in other confederation. We speak about UEFA license. So in the future, we will speak about CONCACAF license as well in America. So that's going to be a big step forward, and this step will allow, I would say, in the future, will allow coaches to travel easier. 4 or more years of coaching experience and working in a youth high performance environment, 13 to 19, in a US-based competition. Again, here is the context, but you don't need to be in this environment. You just need to have access. So something very, very, very important. We should communicate. We should communicate more, and it's okay to not be in this environment. I would say before, yeah, it's about education here. 2 different steps in the application process. Now we have in the phase 2, we have an interview when we have people with the same number of points. So something very, very important also here in the application process. It's a point system for the B and the A license. It's a point system. Sometimes people think it's not a fair process. Believe me, it's a fair process. After it's you taking, it's candidates taking responsibility. If you don't upload document, evidence supporting your words, you won't get any points. So your profile, the profile in the learning center is very important. So what we call here verification document. That's what I can share today. A senior, exactly the same, I would say, course duration, course experience, but the environment where it is different, it's here. Players, it's 19 and above. We don't have a club player development plan here, but the focus is more about the team development process and working on team dynamic. And yeah, any question?
Yeah, well, I think we've got a few in here. I'm going to ask you one real quickly, Didier. So going into the senior, so for example, we may have some coaches that are coaching an under 23 team, you know, especially in the summer. Would that they may also be coaching youth teams. Would you recommend they go to the A senior or the A youth, or is it really a decision for them to make?
It's a decision for them to make. But for me, it's not just about looking at their current situation today. It's where do they see themselves in the future. So something very, very important. Now we need to think ahead. It's where do I see myself in the future? And again, there is no, and it's not about this one will be easier or no. It's all about who is in front of us. We are talking about different people, different needs.
That's true. That's true. So it's really going to depend on what they want to do individually. It really is.
Yes,
What their
yes.
goals are. Do you see a lot of college coaches in the A senior as compared to the A youth?
Um, yes, yes, we do. What I don't understand after it's they pick their youth team to complete the course. So
Mm,
for me, it's not a positive course experience.
sure.
If they see themselves working in a senior environment, I would say a college environment, they should use their college team.
Yeah.
If they don't, if they want to use their youth team, they should take the A youth.
Hmm. That's a very good point because I've seen that too, where they, they only have such a small amount of time with their college players anyway, and so they end up having to use their club team for that course, and that's like you said, that's not necessarily the best use of the time.
No, and again, after there is, for me, where they struggle with their course assignment because they don't see the point to complete all these assignment in a senior environment. The A senior is all about team development, but they don't see the point when working with their youth team. So there is a gap for me, and there is a gap, and I would say I don't see that as a positive experience from an education perspective.
Hmm.
So they complete assignment because they have to,
Yeah. Yeah.
but without the why, I would say.
Right. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I know we chatted briefly. I know there's an update coming. There was a question in our chat concerning the director of coaching license. Is there any little bit of information you could give us? I know you're going to be sending more information out very soon.
Yeah, we are reviewing the DOC course. The DOC, I would say. No, actually, we work on a leadership education pathway with a DOC and academy director. So what we want to create is different layers, and we are trying to review the DOC course for now, and we would like to create a course where members would have opportunity, would have flexibility to organize this course in person or online or both. So that's something we are going to finalize before the end of the year. Anyway, this course and the course package should be available to all members early 2022. And possibly, and it's we are working on it. We would see in the future DOC level 1 and DOC level 2. DOC level 1 would be an online course without any in-person meeting, and something you could complete what we call asynchronous.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't need to attend virtual meeting, for example.
Sure. No, that's great. I appreciate that. And then just another question.
Academy director, maybe Adam. This course has been announced on Friday, I
Yeah.
believe. Have a look on the learning center. Some people sometimes think it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have created something similar. So you don't need to be in this environment to have access to this course. There is some criteria to look at in order to be eligible. But if it's something you consider in the future, have a look. The only thing I would say, what we do in this course more and more, and the focus is not on coaching. It's not a coaching course.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something where we see, let's say, a big area of development in the future. It's very difficult to coach teams and to lead a staff, because this course is about leadership, leading the staff, leading the club player development philosophy, leading the strategic development, leading the staff, leading the talent identification and development, And when we spend 30 hours with our team, when do we do that? So that's something we want to focus more and more. So for those who are coaching 3 teams, I don't recommend you to take this course. You will be overwhelmed after 1 week.
Hmm.
It's really for those who see themselves as club leader in the future,
Sure.
in a high performance environment.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. There was another question that popped up too, and obviously this could be a wide range, and I don't know if you even set prices yet. Do you have any idea of costs for the courses in terms of the DOC?
No, it's not gonna be expensive.
Hmm.
After it will depend on when we want to create flexibility. I would say if it's online, it will be less expensive.
Yeah.
If it's in person, we have cost. So it's going to be a discussion with who are going to organize these courses. But again, here the plan is to reduce cost. We want people to travel less, and yeah,
Hmm.
it's something very important. And that's the same for B and C license. We want to make education more accessible and to bring education in market. So if we do that, it will decrease the cost, I would say.
Sure. No, that's great. I know we've had more courses than we've ever had, right? More C courses. There's more courses available for everybody. I know a
But we
lot of
don't have
the
enough between us in a country like the US. We would need 250 C a year, not
Yeah.
50.
Yeah, right. That's true. We need more instructors, right? So more and more.
That's the problem right now. It's yeah, we need, and it's something. It's not secret, but we are working on an instructor education pathway, something more transparent with an application process for those who want to teach in the future, and not just saying grassroots instructor license only. No, we will have something like what we have in coach education from level 1 to level 4, level 5.
Great. That's good to know. One last question before we let you go. What would be your biggest takeaway from this? The pandemic, the environment that we were pushed into. What do you think has been the most positive thing that you got out of this situation going into the blended learning format?
Um, the most important for me, I remember during 1 week, it was, what are we going to do? And we thought, yeah, it's not possible. And finally, we found solution, and coach education hasn't stopped. So I would like to thank all of you guys, because it was a big challenge. Coaches, participants, people don't really know, but I had a lot of meeting with you, Adam, with Marek.
Hmm.
Just okay, what do we do? What can we do? And I would say it's education should never stop,
Hmm.
and it was a big challenge, I would say, but we have demonstrated open-minded, and we made ourselves vulnerable, but we found solution to provide our soccer community with education opportunities. So that's when we say it's people first. We have worked as a team, and I
Hmm.
think that's something I will remember. It's working as a team to find solution to make education accessible
Yeah.
despite this big problem. I
No,
don't know what do you think, guys?
yeah, no, I totally agree. I think I certainly, and I can probably, hopefully, I can speak for Marek as well. Is I appreciate the flexibility, the ability for us to pivot so quickly, especially in the education sector, in terms of being able to change things, going into this online format that we was unsure about, but in a lot of ways it's been extremely successful. It's been able to open up some things that we probably would never have done before. So
No,
that's probably a positive. And I know from our standpoint, we appreciate the support that you gave us to be able to do the courses. And so I know all the instructors, and we've got a few instructors on the call today. It's been great for them to be able to be part of that and continue with their learning, their education, and going through this new format. So it's been very good. Awesome.
teamwork.
Teamwork.
Working as a team, we can achieve more. It's that's you guys know when coaching, it's if you have good players but you don't have a team, it's going to be a difficult season. And I would say US soccer without members, we won't achieve anything. It's everything we do. It's for preparing the future of the game. So we need to work as a team. We have good players now. We need to work as a team.
Right. We have a Champions League winner right now with my favorite team. We have good players. Absolutely. Exactly. Well, Didier, we really appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy
Always,
man, so appreciate you jumping on.
anytime.
Thank you very much. Great update in terms of the information. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to throw them in. I'll hopefully answer those or pass them on to Didier. Again, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Take care and have a great
Take
day.
care, guys. Sean, it was nice to meet you. Bye. Marek, see you.
All right. Sean, we're going to pass it over to you. I'm going to take over the screen again here.
Well, while we're getting that set up, I just want to reiterate something Didier just mentioned about working together as a team, we can achieve more. And I'm hoping that what I have to say to you all will intrigue you and motivate you to get more involved in working with a segment of a population that you probably haven't had too much connection with in the past. I would say that 2020 and 2021 it's never been more heard, the words diversity and inclusion, and that's a big part of what I want to talk to you today. Primarily what we're doing in the adaptive soccer space here in Illinois, and we're doing a lot, which is really cool. First and foremost, we have our top soccer program. If you're not familiar with it, I welcome an opportunity to talk with you further about it. But basically, it's offering soccer skills and playing opportunities to players with special needs. And we really don't turn away any disability in our programs. We accommodate everybody. So if your club is not offering it yet, I want you to think about it because it's a really excellent program. It also will reach out deeper into the communities that you work with, and you'll get more players out of it. And in addition to the special needs players that you can start working with, it's an opportunity for your current players to get more involved in their community and working with their peers that are in the same school systems that they're in. And the really cool thing that we do with Top Soccer is we match up what we call volunteer buddies directly with the players on the field, and the coaches help facilitate, the skill work and the games, but it's really the interaction between the players and the buddies that makes the program so special. And every club that has started a program just raves about how great it is and what a welcome addition it's been to their family of opportunities that they offer. So we need more programs. We're just scratching the surface where we're at right now. We have about 20 programs in Illinois right now. We could have double that and we'd still be scratching the surface. So I urge you to think about taking that back to your club and saying, hey, what do you think about adding this? We all talk about developing our players on and off the field. Well, this is a way you can kind of develop them on and off the field at the same time. And it's just a wonderful program, and the volunteers probably get more out of it than the players. So I ask you to think really critically about how maybe you can bring top soccer into your local programs. But top soccer is not the only thing that we're doing. So while that's kind of the overarching program, we are getting deep into disability-specific programs as well to offer additional opportunities to those top soccer players. And this is probably where I'm going to need a little help from you guys. We just started our Special Olympics soccer program, which is designed for our players with intellectual disabilities, primarily Down syndrome and autism, and there's a few others. But that's a more competitive element. So that it's a really good option for some of our players, not all of our players, but the players that really want to compete against their peers. We are now providing an option at Illinois Youth Soccer by creating our own Special Olympics team that will begin competing with the other Special Olympics programs. And so that just started. We've had a few inroads with our Paralympic program as well. If you're not following the U.S. Paralympic national team, I encourage you to look them up because they are playing some really high quality soccer and they're world ranked. We got a really great team. So check them out because you might be surprised at how well they're doing. Now on a local level, it pertains to players with specific disabilities of cerebral palsy, stroke, and traumatic brain injury. So we're trying to develop a team of those players. And we're starting out primarily by offering some clinics and to build up a player base so that we can actually have age-appropriate teams to start competing, with probably most likely their peer, their non-disability peers. But we want to provide that option to them because there is a pathway for those players to play not only collegiately, but also internationally for their country as well. And that's something I want to stress to you as coaches, that here's an opportunity for you as a coach or or your peers that you work with that might be interested. Getting in at the grassroots level here in Illinois, you can develop a reputation as a coach in these areas to actually be a part of a national, U.S. soccer's national teams that we have, not only for Paralympics, but for blind soccer, for deaf soccer, and there is some international opportunities for Special Olympics as well to do some coaching there. So we're looking for help. We're looking for more coaches than just myself to be involved, not only with the Paralympic team, but we're actually developing a blind soccer team and a deaf soccer team in partnership with the Chicago Park District, who have access to a lot of these athletes. So that is something that we're probably going to start off this summer with some initial clinics. But then again, the goal is to create enough interest with the kids to develop those teams, because we could develop a team of deaf players that could compete with their hearing peers in any league. Because you may even know some players that are deaf or hard of hearing that are currently playing rec and travel soccer right now. But this community is incredibly close and they like playing with each other. So we're looking to build those teams, and we're going to need some coaches to help with that. So putting that out there. Again, I'm going to stress that this is a great opportunity for either you or your friends, your coaching friends, to get out of your comfort zone and learn some new coaching strategy skills. We're not going to leave you in the dark there. We're not going to throw you to the wolves. We have some really great coaching education that we can provide any new coaches to these fields that work directly with top soccer or any of the disability specific teams. And I'm really excited, Adam. I don't even know if I had a chance to share this with you yet. We are in the process, the final touches of putting together our Spanish language top soccer coaching course. So that's going to be out very soon, and we're going to have that offered probably, pretty quickly on a national basis via Zoom, a Spanish language top soccer coaching education course that we haven't had in the past, which we're all very, very excited about. So, so that's kind of my pitch to you. I'm asking you to think about one. If you don't have top soccer in your club, give it a thought, because it's very easy to put together, and you will have a lot of help from Illinois Youth Soccer and myself. So it's a lot easier than you might think it is to put together and start. And once it gets going, it's an amazing program that you'll be glad you got involved with. But also, if you are interested in possibly creating a new coaching path for yourself, or if you know somebody that might be interested, we have more opportunities and we do need your help. So if you can help me spread the word to anybody that you think might be interested in getting more involved and possibly even elevating yourself into more of a U.S. soccer national team spotlight in the future, that's a possibility. That's a real possibility. And, we're kind of the leaders here in Illinois. We're getting a head start on just about every other state in this regard. So it's a great opportunity to get in front of the line before other states start adopting our models, which is what they're talking about doing. So that's all I have. I don't know if you have any questions, Adam, for me yet.
Yeah, we've got a few that have come in, so we'll kind of answer them live. So one question was, if we don't have enough kids in the current situation to make a team, where can we send them?
Oh, okay. Well, we can also place them with other programs that are hopefully nearby. But we do have, like I said, there's an old saying we have in our top soccer coaching world is, if you have one player, you have a program. Believe me, you do not need a lot of kids to get started, and sometimes it's better to start with a couple. But it's the word of mouth amongst the special needs parents community in your town. You'll double in size pretty quickly, and then double again, in short order. So you can build a program pretty quickly. I started off with 5 kids in my program 10 years ago. And I was probably up to 20 by the following year and 40 in the next two and a half years after that. So it can happen really, really fast. And all it takes is just the word of mouth. So again, you don't need a lot of players, but if you aren't ready to commit right away, and you have some people that are interested, get in contact with me. I will find a program that will work with that family, and we'll get them playing. At the very least, let's get them playing until you're ready to have your own program locally.
And approximately how many programs do we have within the state right now in terms of top soccer, Sean?
So we have about 20 programs and about 300 athletes. So it's honestly not that much. The majority of the programs, as you might imagine, are based in the Chicagoland area, but we do have a lot of opportunity. Right now, we're pretty geographically close to each other. We have a lot in the northwest suburbs, a few in the western suburbs. We really don't have a significant presence in the city of Chicago itself or on the south side. So we really need a few more clubs because I get calls all the time from parents that are in those areas. And I'm saying, unfortunately, I don't have a program for you really close, but if you're willing to make a little bit of a travel, here's a program, that's not too far away, hopefully. And they are, most of our parents are willing to travel initially, but they really are looking to try to get something that's within 15, 20 minutes of their house at the most. And we have some work to do in that area. And that's what, hopefully we can reach a few clubs to get started. But it is super easy, guys. Super easy, super fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. So there's certainly enough programs within the state to be able to have access. They can certainly be able to try to connect with somebody, obviously go through you. And that kind of goes into this next question. There was a question here. How can I refer a player to the program? Again, go through you would be the best way to do that.
I think so. I can definitely have this, a discussion with the parents, and find where the best fit would be. Each program is a little different, so there might be one that's a better fit for that player. And I'm pretty, intimate with all the programs, so I can easily refer them to a program that will work, the best for that child.
Okay, perfect. And then just real quickly concerning the Special Olympics groups that you got, obviously things have started there. Is there a possibility for clubs to maybe start their own Special Olympic groups? I mean, how could they do that?
That's easy too. So I would probably just need to work on the Special Olympics has their own kind of protocols and stuff, but the long and short of it is Special Olympics doesn't have teams. They run competitions. So it's up to individual agencies, social service agencies, or in our case, soccer clubs, if we have enough players. We have had individual top soccer programs have their own Special Olympics teams. So what we did in creating our Illinois youth soccer one was, a lot of programs had one or two players, but not enough to field a team. So we just created basically like a state pool, a regional pool of those players. And we're playing under the Illinois youth soccer banner, which is great. But if you had a club that had enough players, I could absolutely help you get started with starting your own Special Olympics team. And it's easier than you might imagine, and we can get them registered as tops. If they're not currently, if they're maybe in a school-based program, not any top soccer program at the moment, we can help facilitate that as well and get that. We can register them as a top soccer program player under a different program, and then get them started with your club Special Olympic team. So we find solutions in this space.
Right.
So it can certainly happen. Please reach out to me directly, and I'd be happy to help you get that started.
No, that's great. Yeah, definitely the flexibility there. Obviously, we have our kind of our state team, so to speak, right now, which is great. And then obviously we hope this thing gets bigger. We might have within it, region, smaller group teams within it representing the state. Then you'll be making decisions on players. It'll be out of control. So that's going to be kind of neat.
I love those problems, Adam. Let's make it hard to make the state team. I would love that.
That's good. Exactly. Well, great. Well, we appreciate your time, Sean. Obviously doing fantastic work as usual. Again, if there's any questions, you've got Sean's email here on the sheet here, so feel free to pop him. I know he put it in the chat. Anybody that has an interest, we'll be happy to do that. So again, we'll make sure we get connected with you, Sean. So again, thanks for your time, Sean. Again, doing great work, and again, feel free to contact myself or Sean if we can help you get things going. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to go and move forward to Mr. Jamrosi. Chris is here to kind of give us a quick update. Obviously, things are happening. President's Cup just finishing up, and State Cup in the semi-final, quarterfinal stages. I'll hand it over to Chris.
All right. I'm going to try to share.
I can
Can you let me share my screen, Adam?
Yep, certainly can. Yep, coming up.
You see it?
Yes, all good.
Right. Yeah, so we're wrapping up spring. Thanks to everybody who participated in all the events we put together. We know it's been a little bit different this year, much like everything with soccer. So we're hoping as we continue to progress, we'll get back to some everything being pretty much normal to what we're used to when it comes to soccer going into the fall. So looking ahead to I'm going to just focus on some of the stuff we will have coming up next season, as I know teams are starting to prepare for the fall. So for the fall, we will have the following competitions: the State Cup for the high school age girls, 15 through 19, the President's Cup for those same ages. We'll again have an Illinois Cup for those high school age girls, and the 15 boys. The Junior Cup will return to the fall like we had planned to move it prior to the pandemic. So that will be the 9v9 competition for the 11 and 12s. And then the state premiership for our 13 through 15 boys and our 13 through 19 girls. Our Back to Soccer Festival, the event we have for the little guys, the U8s through U10s. We're hoping to have that. One of the things that we do with that is a lot of the off the field stuff. So until we have a little bit better idea of allowable activities for post-pandemic, or once the state opens up into phase 5, we'll make a final decision on that. But we're still evaluating whether we bring that back this year or wait another year till we bring that back. And if anybody has any questions on these, feel free to just hop in and ask them. So basically ideally, we're looking at a pretty normal fall to what we were used to prior to 2020. Again, and looking ahead to the fall, here are the important dates for the high school girls State Cup and President's Cup. Illinois Cup will follow this as well. So we should have registration open June 11th. The deadline to apply for either the State Cup or President's Cup will be July 16th. We will have the brackets announced by August 6th. Play-in games, or those of you that aren't drawn directly into group play or have earned a seated spot, those will be played on August 21st and 22nd. The home team host games will have to be played by October 10th. Here's where we see things a little bit different based on the results we've been seeing in President's Cup. We are considering options of expanding to a quarterfinal for the President's Cup going forward, starting in the fall. Unfortunately, we can't really push the date back due to availability and that sort of stuff. So we're looking at how we could potentially format the President's Cup to include quarterfinals both in the fall and the spring. And that might have us change the President's Cup to have two home team host match, and then the final group play game getting played on in the fall here for October 15th and 16th in Rockford, and then the quarterfinals to begin on the 17th. So those are tentative dates of what we're looking at. We should have that kind of finalized in the near future here. So, but that's potentially what we're looking at. So then for the President's Cup, their semis and finals would be October 22nd through 24th. We are going to look to utilize some additional Friday night matches in the future here, both in the fall and the spring in Rockford. On the State Cup side, the final day to finish up group play will be the 17th of October, followed by the quarters and semis, October 22nd through 24th. And because of the Midwest Conference College Showcase event being held over Halloween weekend, we're going to be skipping that weekend altogether. And then the State Cup finals will be November 6th. We are working with Frank over at the Raptors to include those games in with his college showcase event, so we can all utilize trying to get as many college coaches out as we can. We had done that previously with Frank and the Raptors, so we're looking to bring that back. And then those games would be held November 6th with us playing on the indoor for that. So those give you an idea as you're planning for your fall, just the dates to plan accordingly for as you make your decisions on what you're going to do. The other important upcoming registration deadlines for the fall is the Midwest Conference. Those applications will open June 7th, and it'll be open till July 1st. The age groups for the fall are the 13U through 14U boys and the 13 through 19 girls. Just as a reminder, for the 2009 age group, that youngest age group, we will only consider those teams that participated in our qualifying event this spring for the primary divisions, meaning for the 13s, because it's their first year, states were tasked with qualifying teams. So then those teams that get accepted into Midwest Conference will be placed in their divisions that will, for the 13s, will just be called, Midwest Conference 13, green, red, yellow, blue, something like that. And through that fall season, you'll qualify for Premier 1, Premier 2 in the spring. Any teams that aren't accepted into those primary divisions or new teams that didn't participate in the qualifier will be considered only for the Illinois qualifier that'll be run through Midwest Conference in the fall. Let me see some popping up on the chat here. So Adam, are you monitoring the chat there in case there's any questions, or could you please?
I'll monitor it, no problem.
Thank you. So also this information was sent out a couple of months ago, but just so everybody's aware, Midwest Conference did change their structure. That'll start in the fall. So essentially they've eliminated the first division. And so now in addition, teams can qualify through their state qualifying competitions, however that would be for us in Illinois. We will continue to have the Illinois Conference qualifiers operated through Midwest Conference. So then the next level would be right to Premier 1. So no more, or excuse me, Premier 2, there'll be no more first division. So it expedites the opportunity for teams to get into Premier 1 and compete for those regional bids. So that'll be the format changing going structure. We also expect that there will be some other states that follow the model we've done with the Midwest Conference and have their own qualifying division as well. So, but like I said, all the information for the fall Midwest Conference should be coming out soon. And it'll be posted on our website by June 7th. And then you can always check out the U.S. Youth Soccer Midwest Conference site for additional info. The other big change from the U.S. Youth Soccer is the new formatted National League Pro. So they are still there's automatic qualifiers that have already qualified, quite a few from Illinois already. So congratulations to them. But this will be the new National League there. It's going back to the format that was more of a league standardized event as opposed to event driven like they tried to do, but based on feedback from participants, they're going back to that more formalized league structure. But there are some showcase events and things like that that clubs can participate in. So if you are interested in applying for open slots in the new National League or some of their showcase events, if you just go to US Youth Soccer /leagues, you come here and you can just click on the information for the new National League Pro here. And all the way at the bottom here is the open slot application. So those are strictly selected by the US Youth Soccer staff and not done by us. So anything in terms of the selection for those would be done through them. So yeah, so that's kind of all I've got. If there's any questions, obviously it's been a pretty chaotic spring. We've basically run a year's worth of State Cup and President's Cup events over 3 months. So again, we thank everybody's cooperation with it. And then hopefully we should have all of this information posted up very soon for all the fall events. So
great. Thanks, Chris. No real questions I know Frank mentioned that's the plan, to host the finals with the college showcase at the same time. So just kind of mention that. And then otherwise than that, again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat if anything pops up. But we'll get all this information out to everybody here pretty soon. All right. So hopefully you will see a lot of you on the field here. Appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
All right, I'm going to jump back to the Midwest Regional Championship meeting. So if you
Right.
have any questions, just shoot me an email, guys. Thanks.
Okay, great. Awesome. And then just to finish up, I'm going to kind of share my screen, just a couple of quick updates just on ODP as well as coaching education. So as you can see, we've been pretty busy with coaching education, obviously running through a bunch of courses. Obviously from a big standpoint, in terms of where we're at right now, we've completed 3 D licenses over the winter. We've currently got 2 D licenses going on right now. One's an all-female course, and then we have our spring D license course. We'll have another D license that will be opening up in July. So we've got quite a bit of interest for that, which is fantastic. So be prepared for that coming up in July. And then we still have our C license, which is still open for registration as well. So just make sure if you have anybody who has an interest in this C license, they can go there. It's going to be starting August 2nd. It's in the blended learning environment. The in-person meeting is just a 4-day in-person. Really, it's 2 days plus 2 half days. So November the 15th through the 18th. So just make sure that, if you have an interest in that, let me know. I can certainly guide you through that process as well. Okay. In terms of the courses that we've got, grassroots courses coming up, we do have one course coming up that's now just opened up. This is an 11v11 blended learning course that's open. And that's going to be hosted by Roma Sports Club in Frankfurt. So we've opened that up for general registration. So if anybody wants to sign up for that, it's open. We've had a few people sign up in the last day or so. This way people can knock out that 11v11, which is part of the pathway that you need to have. So just make sure you go to our website or the Learning Center to sign up for that course as well. Okay. Just a couple of other quick things, and I mention this each time. All of our information is accessible on the YouTube channel, so this recording will be put into our YouTube channel, so you can just go under the Coaches Connection and you'll be able to see this. So anything that you missed, you'll be able to find. So just make sure that you go there. And then if you have any questions or concerns about upcoming courses, go to our coaches portion of the page on the website. Try to update that on a monthly basis. So if you want to know what's happening, what a blended learning course is, when's the next quarterly meeting, this is updated to give you some information and answer some of your questions. I know I do get quite a few emails concerning what's coming up. Be happy to answer those, but certainly go to this first if they're unsure about what's taking place. Okay. And then ODP, I know Marek is here as well. In terms of ODP, we've got some things happening here pretty quickly. So June 18th to the 20th, we've got our showcase in Indianapolis, the sub-regional showcase. All the selections have been made. Players have been informed. One thing I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on. I know some of those players that you may have within your groups may have a conflict if they qualified for the President's Cup. Obviously, we encourage all of the players to go with their club teams to the President's Cup. So that's a no-brainer. If they have any questions, concerns concerning the, maybe they've already paid, whatever it may be, feel free to contact Rico at odp@illinoisyouthsoccer.org to certainly answer any of those questions. And then we'll have our regional camp, which again is in Rockford. So there has been a slight change. It's now over 2 weekends. We're still going through the selection process for that, and they will be informed concerning what's taking place. So just make sure everybody's aware of those dates, especially for your clubs. If you have conflicts or whatever it may be, just make sure that players may come to you in terms of some of the events that they may be involved in, but we'll be happy to work with you as needed. Okay. Otherwise than that, again, feel free to contact. I know Danny's always available at Score Sports, so if there's any needs that you may have, feel free to contact him, especially during the summer season for camps and different things that you've got going on. And one thing that we're excited about, we're still working on a date, and especially because this is extremely timely, is we're working with US OPC to potentially bring to you a mental health webinar. And this is going to be specifically for you as coaches and administrators. I would encourage even board members. I'm seeing more and more stuff. Obviously, I just saw recently the tennis player Osaka, who just dropped out of the French Open because of some mental health issues, as well as, you know, NFL players now coming out talking about this. And we know for you, for us, and for you as coaches, you're under a lot of stress. So we want to be able to try and give you some tools to maybe combat that and help you with some things that are going on. So I know it's another webinar, but I think this could be extremely beneficial for you as coaches to maybe help assist you in terms of maybe the stress that you're under. So look out for that in the next month or so. So hopefully we can get that information to you. Okay. Right now we're set for a Zoom meeting in September. That's not to say things couldn't change. We will follow and monitor. We would love to see everybody in person. We'll see how that goes. But right now we're set for September the 8th, right now by Zoom. If it changes into an in-person, I'll certainly let you know on that. So, but otherwise than that, that's pretty much all we've got for today. Again, we appreciate your time jumping on today. Hopefully this was beneficial. The recording will be put on later on. But otherwise than that, that's all from me. And if you've got any questions, feel free to pop us a note. doc@illinoisussoccer.org. Thanks for attending, everybody, and we'll talk very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.